The German Chancellor is travelling to China this weekend for a three-day visit. It's Olaf Scholz's second trip to the country, which is Germany's largest trading partner. The meeting comes as both economic giants are struggling. Deutsche Welle correspondent Kassandra Sundt is in Berlin and joins us now. Kassandra, g'day. So Chancellor Scholz has last visited China back in late 2022, but since then there's been a change to the German strategy when it comes to China. What's happened?
That's right. Since that last visit, Germany has declared that, quote, de-risking is the cornerstone of its new China strategy. That does mirror the mantra of the European Union, which is also talking tough on trade with China. But there does seem to be a bit of a good cop, bad cop situation when it comes to the EU and Germany's relations with China. While the EU is investigating Chinese-made EVs, for example, Germany is seen as presenting a friendlier face to China than the EU. So this new China strategy was unveiled by the German government last summer, and it does suggest that Germany firmly views China as capable of impinging on German economic interests as well as its security. So even while Scholz is bringing leaders along from several large German businesses like Volkswagen, Siemens, and Bayer, he's urging companies not to put, quote, all your eggs in one basket when it comes to trade. And he's also encouraging them to nurture ties with other trading partners.
So de-risking is the buzzword when it comes to German business relations with China, but how's that been going?
Well, it really hasn't. A recent look at whether German businesses are de-risking found no noticeable change. There was a survey by the IW Economic Institute in Cologne, Germany, and it found that especially in areas such as chemicals or electronics, that there's been, quote, no notable structural de-risking. Now, this was a look at 85 product groups that were looked at, and nearly 6 of the product groups, so well over half, showed high import dependency. The Institute did suggest a further study to identify which groups are critically dependent on China, meaning that if China cut off Germany from these products, that it would be hard to quickly replace them. But it's likely that if that survey was done, that the information would be made available in confidence to those companies.
And more than just business is on the agenda. Chancellor Scholz's visit comes days after the Russian Foreign Affairs Minister was in China. What happened there, and what does Olaf Scholz's visit signify?
That's right. The top Russian diplomat was just in Beijing earlier this week, a sign of robust ties between China and Russia. And during a meeting with Minister Sergei Lavrov on Tuesday, President Xi pledged stronger communication with Moscow, adding that the two countries share a drive to reform, quote, global governance. Now, that's a very strong allusion to both China and Russia's view that Western countries have been punching above their weight for far too long. This visit comes as China and Russia have ramped up their economic and diplomatic relations, even in the wake of President Putin's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Now, China has claimed neutrality in the conflict, but has emerged as a key economic lifeline for Russia, which has been isolated by Western sanctions. So that's the backdrop to the German visit to China. The German Chancellor's spokesman said at a recent press conference that China has influence on Russia, and our wish would be for China to exercise that influence. That's, of course, a direct nod to the Ukraine war, which has stretched on for over 2 years. Kyiv has long hoped that China would step in and play middleman for a peace deal, but so far that's not happened. And this morning, German officials confirmed that they will raise China's support of Russia as a concern on this visit.
OK, Kassandra Sundt there in Berlin. Australia's Olympic hopefuls have converged on Adelaide in a key milestone on the road to the Paris Games. Track and field stars like Peter Bowl and Tori Lewis are competing in the national championships. Here's ABC Sports reporter Tom Maddox in Adelaide.